An update in the ongoing minimum wage lawsuit filed by current and former junior players after the OHL and Western Hockey League owners were ordered to turn over their financial and tax return information. The league retained accounting firm KPMG to provide a financial report of the 42 teams in question and retain the services of sports finance scholar Dr. Norm O'Reilly from Ohio University's College of Business to assess the impact of minimum wage in junior hockey. O'Reilly joins us now. Dr. O'Reilly, after reading the report that KPMG put together, what were you able to glean in wide brush thoughts about the financial viability of these 42 CHL teams?
Yeah, I had the opportunity, based on the KPMG report and then doing my own analysis on those numbers, to look deeply at the 42 clubs. And they're clearly outliers. There's a couple of outlier clubs that make significant profit, but across the board, the average club of those 42 is in a break-even or a modest loss situation.
And the implementation then of a minimum wage would do what to the majority of these CHL franchises, in your estimation?
Yeah, I did a very detailed analysis, and if you assume that all the other investments that the clubs are making in scholarships and player support stay the same, so their current expenditures stay the same, and we estimated the addition of a minimum wage investment by each club, it moves about 80% of the total club observations over the 5-year period of 2012 to 2016 that we looked at into a loss position. If you remove the outliers, those couple of clubs that do extremely well, the loss situation gets significantly worse to a number in the neighborhood of $350,000 average loss per year per club season for those that are in that situation with the estimated addition of a minimum wage expenditure.
Could those be offset should those CHL teams rather choose to remove the academic scholarships that they afford their players?
Yeah, clearly, if you removed some investment, it would move into the other place. So the analysis that I did was based on the assumption that the scholarship programs and the investment in players, the billeting, the supports of their training and their travel, et cetera, would stay the same. But yeah, absolutely. Like any manager, if you remove one expense or one benefit and replace it with another, that would impact the overall assessment. Now, it's important to state that even without the minimum wage inclusion, that half of the clubs are in a loss situation year over year.
And yeah, and as you mentioned, that is year to year. But in many sports, investment tends to be an equity play. Did you factor in or have a look at what franchise sale, franchise worth could do to the bottom line for these organizations?
Yes, we did look at that. So the model that I looked at has a number of variables, and the report is publicly available now, to my understanding. And so we looked also at the previous sales of clubs, and you're seeing sales in the recent years between $5 and $7 million US dollars approximately for these clubs. We've seen observations of bankruptcies in recent years, of changing of ownership in different situations. It's very different than the professional sport environment, a place where I've done a lot of my research over the years, where there are those kind of ownership plays for investment. It's a really different situation when you're talking about junior hockey league clubs with smaller owners. And there are those few exceptions, those couple of outliers that I mentioned, but across the board, these are not normally situations where there are investment profitability benefits gained in most of these small town ownership groups.
First time some of this information has ever come to light. Doctor, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure.